parents will come to us at conferences and and my team goes, what do I do with this? Because they always give us their diagnosis of their child and say,
Uh-huh.
okay, what's the curriculum for that? And I was like, there is no curriculum created for a diagnosis because even one child on the spectrum is different from another child on the spectrum.
I want to talk about curriculum. We talked a little bit about curriculum when it comes to dealing with our children who have special needs, but I want to dig a little bit deeper into that and talk about what some of the good options are. You know, you talked about
Mhm.
when you first started, there were really none. I mean, you didn't have any
Yeah.
books to go off of. You didn't, we didn't have the world of Charlotte Mason and classical and eclectic and
Mhm.
unschooling and all the things that we now surround ourselves with as homeschoolers. Um, and I think there's some benefit to having a lot of options today, but I think that can also be very overwhelming
Yeah.
for your typical homeschooler, and especially overwhelming maybe for the homeschooler who has a child who has specialized learning needs.
Mhm.
So how should that parent get started with trying to find the right curriculum that would best fit their child? Where do they find it? You know, what
Mhm.
programs should they look for? Give us all the good information on that.
Okay. So, yeah. So, a lot of times, parents will come to us at conferences and and my team goes, what do I do with this? Because they always give us their diagnosis of their child and say,
Uh-huh.
okay, what's the curriculum for that? And I was like, there is no curriculum created for a diagnosis because even one child on the spectrum is different from another child on the spectrum. And so please don't go by your child's diagnoses. um, but there is a wealth of curriculum and some of it's going to work and some of it's not. And if you look at the comments just in the homeschool community within SPED Homeschool, you'll hear parents, doing unschooling, Charlotte Mason, everything you mentioned
Yeah.
works. But here's the caveat. Different things work for different families.
Yeah.
And it has to do with your personality as a teacher. It has to do with the schedule of your family. And a lot of times there's a lot of things going on. There's medical needs. There's things that parents are working, and all the other things that typical homeschooling families deal with. Us with learners that are different, we deal with them too. But then we have to take into account, how much time are we spending on therapy?
Right.
What is our priorities? So a lot of these things we have to weigh in with that. And so we always tell parents to find a curriculum that's flexible because that is going to be what makes it work
Mhm.
is and so when we review curriculum and we have reviews on our YouTube channel and on our website, we have a review crew actually that handles curriculum, tries it out with their kids, looks at it from that perspective, and really does look, is it flexible enough to change it? And I've even told when I spoke at the Homeschool Trade Association a couple years ago to curriculum developers, I told them you need to give parents more options on how to use your curriculum
Mm.
instead of just a standard one way, because they may not use it just for 1 year. They may use it for 2 or 3
Right.
years. And be okay with that. Don't
Yeah.
say, I've got to shove all this in 1 year because this is what the curriculum says. No.
Right. Right.
And so just learning to be the one that in the driver's seat,
Yeah.
try things out. A lot of these curriculums have free samples, just like you were talking about CTC math. Try them out. See
Yes.
if they work with your kids. Some kids that love computers don't learn well on computers, and
Mm.
you won't learn it until you try it.
Right. Right. Do you recommend parents to go? I mean, I always recommend for parents to go to homeschool conventions, but do you recommend for these parents specifically to go to a homeschool convention and try out different, not try them out there, but, get their hands on different curricula that might work for their families?
Somewhat. There aren't always a good selection of curriculums that are really flexible that go to conferences.
Hmm.
And that's why we do offer those reviews on our website and our
Okay.
YouTube channel, just because we tend to pull from some curriculums that we're selling to private and public schools.
Hmm.
And they know that there's a market in the homeschool base as well. So they wouldn't particularly go to the homeschool conferences, but some of them do.
Okay.
Also, just the care options if you have a child with more severe needs. conferences are sometimes usually difficult to attend anyways.
Yes.
So yeah. So there, I mean, if you can, there are options there. When if we're at the conference, what we do, if you come to our table, is we will star every single table you should visit that has
Oh,
curriculum that's flexible. So that's
okay.
something that we offer. And actually, if there's an app at the conference, we will highlight every single one of our partners that's at that conference.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So you actually have a team that reviews different curriculum
Hmm.
for, and I'm assuming they use it for their families or for families that they're working with.
Right.
And then just kind of, I've not been on that, but is it kind of like a
Mhm.
movie review where do you rate it and you kind
We
of
do.
describe what it is?
We
And
have a written review,
okay.
we have a video review, and then we also do unboxings. But it depends on what level our partners pick when they support our nonprofit
Mhm.
as to the type of review that we do. And we also
Okay.
give them feedback too that's helpful to them in
Sure.
their products.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
That's really exciting. That's a really good
Yeah.
resource for people to be able to use. Is your YouTube channel, is it SPED Homeschool?
Yep. You just search SPED Homeschool.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.